Long ago, education was taken over by that
Let's
language.
talk
Today,
about this together.
corporations got taken over by that
Because if you
language.
look at what you call it statistically
But
speaking,
again, this
if affirmative action was
specific
like not in place and
incident
stuff like that, or
described
statistically speaking, and
plainly,
racism,
and it is
I'm
it
like, dude,
brings
you know what I'm
great
saying? We're not
awareness.
even
Wow,
represented in that sense.
it
And it is an
already
overwhelming,
done.
overwhelming
And so,
statistic in that sense.
comparing it so
You
that
know,
people can be on
so
the
like,
right
if you do
track, so that
profiling, you
way
say
they can make
profiling is like
decisions
illegal or
and
something. I
do
don't
the right
know.
way.
Eh?
It certainly is,
It's like profiling. It's like anti. It's like
again,
proofing
aligned with that old
profiling.
evil.
Like, oh,
They're just
I'm
really
gonna
wanting to
go
go back to
to this, or I'm gonna,
that sort of
you know,
thing.
whatever it is to
So
some so-called bigoted person, unreasonable person,
you constantly
to say,
referring to
oh
it
man, I wanted a morning commute where I didn't want to get mad or something like that. Hey, you know, I don't know why that is, or why there is such a thing that happens where,
the
like, well, I'm gonna
Democratic
go do
Party
this to make sure this happens.
has taken has
So what do you
fashioned
call
this
that? Is
to
that a
create this
statistics where
source of
that's fair to
power, this
say?
moral,
Um,
this capacity for
that
moral judgment.
fair to say
And
that it's what do
certainly
you call it?
someone
It's
that does not have
that's
that moral
you know, I mean,
message to make
not
is focusing on the
not
individual.
not
Very well said.
something as a racist. I mean,
Exactly what these people thought. But the truth is that slow
so
metabolism can be created by a condition called insulin resistance. Once you have insulin resistance, fat becomes trapped
it's
inside your
hard to
body
lose
and it
weight.
becomes
It's
very
hard.
difficult to lose weight, even if you crash diet. But now
Lead. The 29-year-old
So
says he
there
is
we go.
excited for the next chapter. Alabama is pushing to divert part of the state property tax and use the revenue to promote black history.
Watching some
Two state senators, a Republican and a Democrat, are
Fox
planning on
News and
introducing
stuff at
legislation this
Walnut,
year. The bill
Walmart,
also would reportedly establish a
Amazon.
process to remove Confederate memorials
So
from public property. Upkeep of Alabama Confederate monuments is currently paid for by the state. I'm
that
John
is.
Scott. Now, back to life, liberty, and Levin.
It's raining out in New York City.
Welcome back, Shelby Steele. You've helped us understand what's taking place here. So if you're a target of Joe Biden's vitriol, or the Democrat Party or the media, and they're attacking you as white supremacists or people who believe in Jim Crow and that sort of thing, how should you react? How should you respond to that?
It's probably not easy.
Xenophobia is really hard to deal with. It's really hard to
I think it would
convert to the
the
average person.
Democrats
Like,
would put
look,
it
I
down
have to speak in another language a lot of the time. With seven part of society, it's not really acknowledged. There's like partly acknowledged, and so I have to have this kind of like trilingual ability of like ethnic understanding of like where I am in the United States, and it really just kind of like it inundates the kidneys because it's like you just kind of like get frustrated on like what you want to say or what you're feeling and really get at a loss for words or you know unable to express like what you're going through other than oh I can talk ghetto language. I live in somewhat ghetto if you just live in some of that. So you say like that. So I can speak on that level. I can kind of have that medium, and that's not the only facet to me though. I mean you know and stuff like that. So so I mean you know in these times where I interface and say well I look to the TV in such situations where you get console from like shows like this you interface and stuff and like you say, well, this is what I feel about it, coming from my standpoint and where I grew up, and seeing such and such kind of trials and whatnot. That's just a thing.